Hi, my name is s.Assouline. I'm a registered nurse and a DONA approved doula. Today, I'd like to talk to you guys about an essential birthing tool that you probably never heard of. If you're pregnant or you work with someone that's pregnant, this tool can be extremely beneficial to the labor and delivery process. And this tool is called the peanut ball. After doing some research for ways to help laboring mothers through birth, I came across some recent and interesting studies on the peanut ball. So initially, this ball was used in physical therapy, but more recently it has been used for comfort during labor. In a study, it was shown that stage 1 of labor, which is when a mom goes from 0 to 10 centimeters, it was reduced by 90 minutes on average, and stage 2 of labor, which was the pushing phase, was reduced by 22 minutes. As well, C-section rates were reduced by 12%. Now, I think this is pretty remarkable considering we're talking about such a simple and risk-free intervention. As you can see, the balls come in 4 different sizes: the 40 centimeter, the 50 centimeter, the 60 centimeter, and the 70 centimeter. The first 3 are used for various positions, whereas the last one is mostly used on the ground for straddling or sitting. To be hospital grade, they have to be burst resistant and latex free. You have to make sure to choose the correct size ball for the patient depending on what position she's in, and that may require a different size ball. If the ball is too big, it might create too much tension at the hip area and create guarding instead of relaxation. And if the ball is too small, it might not be as efficient. You want to make sure that the ankle is not hanging off the ball and that it's well stabilized. So let me elaborate a little bit more about the benefits to using the peanut ball. First of all, it can be used with or without an epidural. It's more efficient than using a leg stirrup or a pillow at keeping pelvis open. It encourages proper positioning of the baby and the descent of the baby. As well, it speeds labor 8 out of 10 times and it reduces C-section rates. So up next, I'll be showing you some of our basic peanut ball positions and some of our new advanced peanut ball positions. First, keep in mind that when a patient has an epidural, you want to make sure to support their leg, not overextend it. Also, keep in mind to change their position frequently. So assisting me today is going to be my friend and nurse colleague Caroline, who happens to be 30 weeks pregnant. So the very first of the basic peanut ball positions is called the sideline. So you want to have your patient side lying on a bed. So typically, a patient with an epidural is on her side like this, and her pelvis is closed when her legs are closed. Adding a peanut ball in between her legs helps the pelvis widen, which mimics a squatting position, which helps the baby descend and thus progresses labor a little bit faster. From the sideline position, we can move into the tuck position, the most efficient, most comfortable position, and it really helps to keep the pelvis open, wide, helps to keep the patient comfortable. So the third position is called the semi-lunge position. You want to have the patient sitting on her back in a semi-faller's position. And in Caroline's case, we're going to be using the 50 centimeter ball, putting it under one of her legs and having the second leg bent towards the peanut ball. Sometimes you can use the rolled up towel or a PK under the peanut ball to stabilize it, which I've done here. So again, you can see the pelvis is open wide, there's not too much pressure in the hip area, and the patient is really comfortable. So the next position is called the tailor sitting position. You want to have the patient sitting maybe at a more high Fowler's position if that's how she's comfortable. And in Caroline's case, we're going to be using the 40 centimeter ball, which is the smallest ball, putting it under her leg, and she wants to have her feet touching as much as possible. And it opens the pelvis at a different angle and helps her feel comfortable and not putting too much pressure in her hip area. So the next position is called the leaning forward position. You want to have the mom on her knees. In Caroline's case, we're going to be using the 60 centimeter ball, the lower part of the bed lowered, and this is great for upper body support. So for the pushing position, we want to have the mom on a side lying position. And in Carolyn's case, we're going to be using the 50 centimeter ball, putting it in between her legs, and we want to have the legs parallel to the ball, and it helps her rest her legs in between pushes. So this position is called the sitting position, and we're using the 70 centimeter peanut ball, which is the largest one. It provides counter pressure to the perineal area, which can provide some comfort to the mom. She can go and move back and forth or up and down to her desire to give a little bit more comfort. The next position is hands and knees, kneeling and straddling. So you want the end of the bed to be lowered. In Caroline's case, we're going to put the blue 50 centimeter peanut ball in between, and we're going to have her really sitting at the end of the peanut ball to give some space to her abdomen. And then we're going to have the 50 centimeter ball over here so she could lean forward. And as we see, she's got lots of room. There's not too much tension in her hip area, and she's nice and comfortable. So this position is called the flying cowgirl baby, and it was created by Gail Tilley from Spinning Babies. In Carolyn's case, we want to use the 50 centimeter ball, put it between her legs, and instead of having her simply like this, you want to have her legs back, which opens her pelvis at a different angle. She can either be hugging the pillow or holding onto the bar, whatever she feels comfortable. And again, her pelvis is nice and open, and it doesn't put too much tension on her hip area. So this position is called the Lotus position. You have the patient lying on her back and in a semi-faller's position. And for Caroline, the 50 centimeter ball is the one that she should be using. So you want the ball under her. Her feet are close together and she's comfortable. For even more support and more stretch, you can take a towel or rebozo or a sheet and have the patient just pull on it to her desire. So an alternate to the sitting or straddling position is the park bench sitting position created by Gail Tilley from Spinning Babies. So you want to turn the peanut ball over this way and have the mom sitting. It helps relieve some perineal pressure. She can still move back and forth if she'd like, and it helps keep the pelvis nice, wide, and open. An alternate version of this position is taking the smaller peanut ball and placing it in front of mom and have her leaning on the ball, which gives a little bit more additional support. For safety precautions, you want to make sure to keep the ball away from sharp objects and keep the ball away from the ground. It is important to cover the ball when using it with patients. You can do so by putting a PK over it, a peanut ball cover, or a hospital gown that you tie up. A contraindication to using the peanut ball would be anybody who's had a pelvic, hip, or ankle injury. Thank you for watching. If you want more information, refer to Premier Birth Tools, and in there you'll find peanut ball charts. And if you have any other questions, feel free to email me. Thank you.